What is up, sister friends? Welcome to another episode of the Heart to Heart podcast with your host, me, Emily. Maybe this will be the last episode of the year. Who knows? I do these when I feel the energy, when I have a topic on mind. I never want them to just maybe be blabbing to blab. So we'll see. But I hope everybody's having a good holiday season. I hope that you're taking the opportunity to go inward, right? Winter is the season of going inward, taking everything you've learned from the year, kind of like putting it to rest, putting it away, nourishing it so that it can flourish in the spring, and allowing yourself the time to reflect on what this year was for you, what you learned, what you experienced. I also hope you're getting time away from work to rest. You're supposed to be resting right now. I don't know if you know that. Rest. It is December. You've worked hard. You've done a lot. It's okay. But some of us, if you're a manifesting generator, maybe that's not for you. Who knows? Listen to your energy. But collectively, I do find that this year can be daunting. This time of year can be daunting because it's so crazy and there's so much going on and we feel like we have so much to do and get ready for the new year when really you're supposed to rest and be with family or those that you love and, take a nap, all those beautiful things. And I know that's what I've been doing, right? I think the last episode, whatever that was, I talked about how I'm kind of taking a break from like selling anything and pushing anything and offering anything because I want to reconnect with you guys. I want to reconnect with the people who love human design, who want to show up more as the woman that they want to be. I want to reconnect more with my audience and the people that follow me and that feel that this stuff is helpful for them, what I talk about and what I do. And you're in what's the word, inundated with so many things all the time, and I just felt like I want to take a step back. And as a projector, taking a step back is so important, so glad I've done that. And so today's episode, I wanted to talk about trusting yourself, because it's so important. And I think that's really going to be the biggest theme of what I do in full circle coaching. I feel like, things always come full circle and we see things more clearly the older we get, the more we go through things. And just time after time, even when I was a fitness coach and now working with entrepreneurs, there's just this running theme as women of not trusting ourselves. And it's heartbreaking. And I fall victim to it too all the time. And this morning, it's so funny. I wasn't planning on recording a podcast today, but here we are. But I was on Facebook because for my other job, I needed to get on there. And it was like, hey, do you want to see a video from 2021? And I'm like, sure, of yourself that I recorded. Cause I used to go live, guys, like 4 or 5 times a week. Like I was going live all the time. And I really do think it helped my fitness business, but energetically it was not correct for me. But it was a good way for people to get to know me, I guess. But I went live talking about, because it was my last day at my apartment. And my apartment, it was the apartment I got when I first moved to Colorado. Oh, that little apartment did so much for me. It was probably as big as the office I'm sitting in now. It was literally so tiny. But watching that video, and it was a little heartbreaking because Binks was in it and I miss him so much. I'm not gonna cry. But Banksy was in it and I was just talking about Banks and I love him to death. I miss him so bad. But I was talking about in the video how you're one decision away from a completely different life. And I was talking about how much that apartment meant to me and how much I went through in that year and how much change I created for myself. And I had really hard days that first year. I mean, I was broke as shit, so broke, but I had so much fuel in my tank because I really wanted to make it and I really wanted to have my own business. And this morning, it was just the inspiration I needed. Sometimes you yourself are your best inspiration, because I was like, damn, that girl, she did a lot. She did a lot in one year that this version of me feels like I can't even do now. And it made me kind of question, like, what is fueling me right now? And that's why it's so important that I took this step back from trying to push any kind of program or group. I was trying to do a group program and, sell human design readings. Those are all things that I still like have ideas for, but there wasn't that fire that fitness coaching had given me at that time. And that fire is starting to come back because the ideas are flowing again. And my motivation is a little bit different now. Just like thinking of my family and my time, as you get older, priorities change, I think. But yeah, I was just like, oh, I trusted myself deeply then. Some ways didn't, but I trusted myself to take on a task and complete it and get after it. And I knew what I was doing was right because it was fueling me up. It was getting me excited. It was just everything to me. I mean, everything to me. I trusted myself so much with it because I knew I wanted it more than anything else in the world. And I think for a lot of us, we've lost that sense of fuel for what we're doing. For some of us who've been a fitness coach or an entrepreneur for the last 3-4 years, the space has changed. We've all changed. We've all changed a lot. And I think it's important to get reconnected with that truth, whatever it is. It may be a different version of it now, but also trusting it and knowing that you want it because it's yours, not because somebody else gave it to you. And I know for so many of us, it can be challenging to trust ourselves because we've made mistakes in the past. And it can be like, well, I don't want to make the wrong decision because I did make the wrong decision in the past. And what if this is the wrong decision? Or what if I'm, going down the wrong path or blah, 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 whatever it may be. That is all conditioning telling you those things. Because if we come from a place of our highest selves, or even just zoom out a little bit, right? We don't even have to put the spiritual part in it, just zoom out a little bit. You will see that every quote unquote wrong decision was the right decision because you had to learn that lesson. You had to experience that thing. It had to bring you to where you are now so that you could have this reflective moment and see, oh, that's what that feels like in my body. Oh, that's what that looks like when I talk to somebody like that or use that language, right? It is all necessary. And so instead of us second guessing ourselves, doubting ourselves, blah, 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 just start making decisions and going with what our strategy is telling us, our inner strategy, our inner authority, and our strategy in human design. So your inner authority and your strategy, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but trusting that and going with it and allowing it to guide you is always going to lead you where you are supposed to be. The thing about us is we want to control everything. And if this year has taught me anything, is you control nothing. My word of the year for 2024 was power. And it literally makes me laugh because I'm like, wow, that was hilarious. Nice try. Because I feel like I had no power this year. Couldn't find my inner power. I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel like a force. I wanted this year to be full of magic and full of just me stepping into my power, owning who I am, being the authority figure that I know that I can be, that's in my human design chart, like 4 times, like be the authority figure. And I feel so far from that because life said, you want to be powerful? Let's see what you got. And that's what happens, right? Life be life. And I definitely still don't feel powerful. I'm going through a lot of grief and depression right now, and it's a season, and there will be another side, but it does, I am a fantasy book lover. You guys know that, it's always darkest before the dawn. There will be another side to this. This is helping me learn all the lessons, understand myself better, understand my relationships better so I can get to that other side. But we don't control anything. All we can do is make the best decisions that we can with what's right in front of us. And when you follow your inner authority and your strategy, it's going to keep you on the right path. Even if you can't explain it in the moment how it's the right path, you just trust it and you go with it, and it leads you the way that you want to be led. So let me explain the difference real quick between strategy and inner authority. So every energy type has a specific strategy. You can't be a generator and have a projector strategy, right? They go hand in hand. So the manifestor's strategy is to inform. The reflector's is to wait a lunar cycle. The generators is to respond. The manifesting generator is also to respond / a little bit of to inform. And then the projector is to wait for the invitation. Those are their specific strategies. In order to follow your energy type, you must follow your strategy. And your strategy, the best analogy that I can give is your strategy is if we were playing a board game, okay, in the game of life, and you're the character, you win the game by following your strategy. It is innately a part of you. You're doing it naturally all the time. Your strategy, though, you can fall, if you've fallen off of your strategy when your not self comes up. So for manifestors, that's anger. For reflectors, that's disappointment. For generators, it's frustration. Manifesting generators, frustration. And projectors, it's bitterness. When your red flag or your not self pops up, that's how you know you've fallen off your path and you are not in alignment. Your inner authority is exactly how it sounds. Okay. Your inner authority is that inner voice telling you what to do, what decisions to make, where to go, all the things. And inner authority is different. So you can be a generator and have emotional authority. You can be a projector and have emotional authority. It's everybody's is different. Some people, reflectors, don't have a authority, and I'm a mental projector. Like I don't technically have an inner authority. It's called environmental authority. I have to talk to a million people before I can make a decision. So your authority is how you start to trust yourself. So for example, if you are a generator and you have sacral authority, it always goes back to the gut. What's that gut telling you? Hell yes or hell no? If you have splenic authority, right? What's your intuition telling you? What is coming up? It doesn't have to make sense, right? But what is it telling you? If you have emotional authority, what gets you excited? What gets you happy? Or is this making you sad? Is this making you angry? Like, what is the emotion tied around this thing, right? If, what's another? If you have self-projected inner authority, right? You already know the answer. You already know it. You don't got to talk to nobody. You don't got to talk to nobody. You already know the answer. And so depending on your inner authority, if you have questions about your inner authority, feel free to DM me or message me. But your inner authority is that voice inside of you leading you to the right decision, to be on the right path. The problem with all of us is we use our brains too much, okay? You're allowing your brain to say, what if, or doubt it. Maybe not. I don't know. Last time we made a decision like this, it didn't go right. Or, oh God, what if this upsets her? Or that's not what everybody else is doing. Shut up. Tell it to shut it. Shut up. We are supposed to be using our bodies to help us make decisions. Ask a generator, okay? They're the best example of this because they're the most connected usually to their bodies because of their gut. They know when they've made a bad decision. They know. They know, not bad, the wrong. The decision it was a hell yes, but they said hell no. And then they go and do it and then they have regrets and they feel it in their body. You and I know what the right decision is every single time. Our brains and conditionings get in the way. Every single time. And you can always reflect back and look and say, oh, there it was. I felt it here. I felt it here. I just knew, right? Things like that. That's us trusting ourselves and realizing oh, our bodies know what is best for us. And as we can decondition ourselves from this brain that's trying to tell us how to be safe and stay in the same box and live in the same patterns and repeat the same cycles, we can start to unravel ourselves more and more and understand ourselves more and be more ourselves. And so as we step into, we're so close to 2025, it's literally 2 weeks away. I want more and more women to kind of stick it to the man and say, F your noise, I'm going to be myself. And that may not make sense to you. And that's okay. And I actually don't care if it makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. It's going to benefit my life. It's going to benefit my clients. It's going to benefit the people that I have in my life for me going all in on who I am and trusting my decisions. It is huge. And I want more and more of us to use that inner authority to stay on track with who we are and not let fear and anxieties and conditioning control us. Now, This is easier said than done. This is a practice. Human design is literally a practice. It is not just like get a reading one time, have fun. It's something that you need to integrate into your life and practice through reflection and, self-observance and, being intentional and mindful. And so we can start doing this by understanding our strategy and our inner authority. Those pieces are really powerful. And they also help us stay true to our energy type because everything is connected. If you've had a human design reading from me, I talk about how important the energy type is, and it is. That's the most important part. But all these other pieces help that piece be the big piece, right? We gotta, it's like macros and micros. Like the micros help the macros, right? Like it's all interconnected. And so as you level up in understanding who you are and using this tool, you can start to unlock different pieces of your life. And as someone who has had a really hard year, it's actually been a really great year to practice human design because I've had to make sure that my not self shows up and that my shadow self doesn't show up and that I stay in alignment and stay true to who I am. So if you've had the year that I've had, human design probably was really, really helpful to stay true to who you are, because outside forces and things that you can't control can really try to stop you from being yourself. If you are, I try not to cross human design and religion in any way, shape, and form, because human design is a tool, not a religion, and not a belief. But as a Christian, it makes me think about, this tool is allowing me to stay true to who I am, because that's who God wants me to be, so I can live out my purpose, where the devil wants me to be not myself so that he can lead me down the wrong path and help and take me farther and farther away from God. And so it's all just, it's bigger. It's so big and it's so powerful and it's so my own, and it's your own, and you get to do what you want with it. And I think that's really powerful. And so the premise of today's podcast was about learning to trust yourself and leaning into that and knowing that by doing so, you're taking yourself closer and closer to your purpose. Because in that video this morning that I watched for my Facebook Live, when I created Full Circle Coaching, it was a fitness company. And the slogan was, "You are destined for more." And that's still my slogan today. Like, you are destined for more. And I said that in that video. And because I always said it, but I haven't heard myself say it in a while. And I hurt, and I was telling everyone in the video, like, you are one decision away from a completely different life. You are destined for more if you take action and you take care of yourself. Now, that language is very conditioned language, but the part about, like, you are destined for more, and knowing deep down that I was destined for more, and that there was more to come for my life, and that was just the first step, it was very inspiring. And I just wanted to send that over to you guys as well, that same energy of, like, you are destined for more and you are one decision away from a completely different life. And I didn't know about human design then, but knowing what I know now and hearing the phrase, "you are one decision away from a completely different life," using your inner authority and being in alignment with who you are authentically and who you were made to be, is even more powerful. And I am feeling, so many feelings about, like, where I was in, where I am now. But what it did give me was more hope and more inspiration and more fire for this upcoming year. Because I do have big goals. I do. And I want them. And I know you guys have big goals too. And I want to take them back, and I do that by being myself and honoring my energy and taking action where it feels best for me. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to participate in this conversation, message me, comment below, whatever. Would love to have you. Would love to chat. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. I hope you have an amazing holiday, whatever you celebrate, Yule, whatever other holidays are happening coming up. Sorry, I don't know them. I just don't know them. But and a happy new year if I don't post another episode. I hope you guys have a great time. Set some amazing goals. Remember who you are. And let's ring in 2025. Just proud and grateful. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.